Hey everybody, this is BBlicious, and today we are going to learn about prop maps. So I had a PM in World a few minutes ago from someone who wanted to learn how to do prop maps, and so I thought, well, no time like the present, so let's get to it. First of all, what are prop maps? Okay, so every item that's in prop edit, not every item, but the majority of them, they have a prop map available. So a prop map is basically like a layout of the prop. How to explain this? Okay, in real life, say you take a small cardboard box. You hold it in your hands. It's a cardboard box, right? So what makes up that cardboard box? It's got walls, it's got a top, it's got a bottom, right? It's got corners. So what were to happen if you were to cut down the corners on all four, let's just say 3 sides of the cardboard box, or I don't know how many corners. I'm trying to picture this in my head and screwing it up. Okay, so in other words, what I'm trying to do is lay the box flat in one piece. Okay, so we're cutting the corners until we lay it out. It's all in one piece, but it's still connected on all the sides. Okay, so you're probably going to come out with something that looks kind of like in the T shape, in the shape of a T or something like that. So if we laid that out flat, all the pieces still connected, and let's just say we put that shape on a piece of paper, that would be your prop map for the box. So what the prop map is, it's all the sides, top, bottom, all that laid out, but in a flat version. And for you, so you can import designs, color, fabrics, whatever, textures onto each separate piece of the prop map of the item, so that when you put it all back together again, it turns into something wonderful that you've made. I don't know if that makes sense. It's really hard to explain because I'm not so technical, and also my brain's fried. I'm just not with it today. So, but I'm going to show you what I mean. Okay. So, let's start with the antique chase. This was the first item that I ever mapped. The first item ever. I did not know what the hell I was doing. Somebody was teaching me. Oh, hold on a second. I'm going to put this on pause. Let's see. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back, and this little box is not going to go away. Okay, anyway, so this was the first prop map I ever made, and I didn't know what I was doing. I had somebody who was teaching me, but they were not doing a very good job teaching. So they were like, I was like, well, how, am I doing this right? And they were like, you're doing fine, you're doing fine. It was like there was no real instruction. I was half-assing it. I had no idea what the hell I was doing. I was just guessing. So I'm not going to leave you hanging like that. Okay, so we know what prop we're using, the Antique Chase 01, and now we need to get the map for it. So here's how you find that. So we're going to do a internet search. Oh, here we go. Oh, I already had one open. I thought I did. Okay, so we're going to go to the Wraith prop map, which I go to it often enough to where it automatically comes up, but it's the Wraith.com, and I'm going to put the link for this at the bottom of the video. I hope I remember. If I don't, just PM me or email me in World, and or Skype me, and I'll give it to you. Okay, so the Wraith prop maps. The man that does this, he does not get paid for this. This is a volunteer thing. He has worked very, very hard on this. This prop map site has been redone several times that I know of. This is like the third time that he's done it that I know of. Probably more than that, but it's a lot of freaking work. As you can see, there's over 6,000 files in this thing. Can you imagine the time involved doing this? Oh my god. So, I'll put his, a link to his profile as well at the bottom of the video and show him some Ray love. Because this man deserves it. That's all I'm saying. Okay. So here's how you use it. So if you know what you're looking for, you can go right here to the search box and search the prop name. So we have the Antique Chase 01. So I'm going to go to search and I'm just going to type in Chase. And it brings up all the prop maps for this chase. Now, on his site, sometimes they have users like other deco members who will make a prop map and they will send it in to be added to be used. Okay, you can use it, but only in your personal properties, not for resale. You cannot sell somebody else's work. That is deco theft. Without their permission, that is deco theft. Some decos will allow you to use their work in your layouts that you have for sale. In that regard, if they allow it in that regard, then yes, you can sell it, but only as part of your layout, not individually. Okay? Be smart about it. Don't steal from other people. Do not resell someone else's work. That is thievery. And that is a that is a huge no-no in the deco community. They will roast your ass over an open fire for that shit in forums. I'm gonna tell you, if you don't want your name to end up in forums, because they're fucking brutal in there. Like, brutal. If you don't want to be roasted like that, then stay in your lane. That's all. Okay. So, this right here is the regular prop map. I just clicked on it. That's it. Here's the regular prop map for it. As you can see, as I was trying to explain with the cardboard box, it's like they took all the pieces and just made them into one layer, basically. They're all separated. It's like they took this thing apart and laid it out. So this is what a prop map is. So this is the mesh version. So the mesh version, okay, so on the regular version, like take this little area right here for example. You can barely see that because it's shadowed. It's a shadowed area. So what the mesh does is the mesh outlines all the areas that you have to cover in order to get the whole thing. So on many of the prop maps, there might be an area that's so dark that you can't tell there's anything there, and you might miss it when you go to map it. So the mesh is very, very, very useful in this way. Now this is the overlay. Have you ever mapped something and after you put a texture on it, you're like, well, that doesn't look right because there's no shadows, you know, there's no outline or shadow. Well, this is why, because you don't have an overlay on it. Okay, now the overlays, okay, so I know a lot of people will take just the texture they get online and put it straight onto the prop, no mapping, and then go to script 2 and try to put the overlay on. That's not going to work, honey. That's not going to work. Use the overlay on the prop map. I will show you how. Okay, now this version of the prop map is, sorry, the yawn. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. You're probably going to hear a lot more of those today, so I apologize in advance. Alright, so this is, good lord, this is a 1024 by 1024. I can see already. This is a color map. Okay, so someone, Wraith or one of the other users, took their time to outline all the areas that need to be covered and colored it in with a different color, so to make it easier to map. Another mesh, another overlay. Okay, So that's it. So what you do, okay, now I'm going to tell you right now, do not hot link these bitches, okay? Do not. What is hot linking? Hot linking is when you, let's just look up a grizzly bear. No idea why that popped into my mind. Let's just go with this one. Okay, so you like this grizzly bear and you want to put it on the chase. So you right click on the image, click on copy image address, go to script, cached web image, and you paste the link. So now you got a grizzly bear looking chase. Okay, I hot linked it. So you can see on the link, it's not my link, it's somebody else's. It belongs to upload.wikipedia.org or whoever they are. It belongs to them. They are paying another company, or maybe even, hosting it themselves, but they're paying somebody else to host their textures, and they're paying for bandwidth and everything else. And when you're using their links without their permission, you're stealing from them, because they're paying for this. Okay? You're stealing from them. So do not hot link. That is a big no-no. Okay? Instead, download the image, upload it to your own hosting site, and in case you didn't know, Otherverse provides one for you. It's called OtherBucket. Okay? It's very easy to use. You just click on the OtherBucket tab from your profile homepage, click on choose file, and you upload the image. You click on upload, and when it uploads, it's going to look like this. So it's going to have the name of your file right here, the name that you gave it, okay? And this is going to be your link. In order to copy the link, you click on this little thing right here where it says copy to clipboard. You're going to click on this little dooflitchy right here. If you want to delete it, do that. But you copy it here. I'm just going to copy this little koala bear here. It's a PNG, so it's going to look wonky, but there you go. That's how you do it. No hot linking. Stop that. Okay, back to the prop maps. So we're going to right click on the prop map. You're going to save image as, and I'm going to put this in a junk file. Organize as you go. Make files on your computer so that you know where to find something. Now, I have a folder called prop maps, and the way that I use this is I save the original in this folder, but I also save, like every time I map something, I save it to the prop map folder and I name it. So just like this one, Antique Chase 01, that is the name of the map, and then behind it I put navy blue, oak frame, etc. This one is called black checkered fabric. This one is called black. No black. That's just telling me that I didn't use the overlay. I think no black, teal wood fabric aloha multi. I don't even know what I did there. Anyway, so name your files. The way I name them is I describe what I put on there. I put the wood on there, like medium oak or dark wood or light wood. That way, at a glance, I can look at the file and kind of picture in my head what's going on. And then I put the kind of fabric I've used. Red checkered, blue corduroy, blue floral, pink and red polka dots, whatever. Like, name your files, because when you get to the point that I'm at and you have like 4,000 files in your prop map folder, you're going to need something to describe what you got going on in there. You're going to have a hot ass mess. Okay, so Antique Chase. Okay, Well, I was right there. So here's my antique chases. I already have the original here. Another thing, when you go to save your files, do not save over the original file. Keep your original file there, because every time you use this prop map, you don't want to have to go and freaking download it, okay? You want to just be able to go into your folder, grab the blank antique chase prop map that you need, okay? Because you don't want to have to go download it every time. So save it to that folder. You also, okay, when I download a new prop map I download the original, I download the overlay. Always grab the overlay at the same time, because you're going to need that. And if the color map is available and I think I might need it, I'll grab that, but I always grab the mesh too. I don't need the mesh. I've done this one a million times, but grab the mesh and do all that at the same time. Alright, so I'm going to take this off of here. Alright, so now we're going to start working on it. So open your GIMP or whatever you're using, Photoshop, GIMP. Now if you're using Photoshop or Paint.net or something else like that, I cannot help you. I cannot. I have Photoshop, but I don't know how to use it. Like, I cut my teeth on GIMP. That's how I learned. And I was learning actually before I had Photoshop, so I just stuck with GIMP because I knew GIMP. So we're going to go to File. Now, okay, also this is GIMP 2.80. I've said this in other videos, but this is an older version. I think right now they're on like 2.10.34 or something like that is the newer version. And if you don't have GIMP, I'll show you where to get it. Hold on. GIMP.org. GIMP.org. Here's the new one, 2.10.34. If you want to use the old ass version I got, go to the Downloads tab. Scroll down to older downloads. Previous version 2.8 installers can be found right here. You click on that, and the very first one was the one that I used right here. So that's how you get GIMP. So here's how we're going to use the prop map. Click on File, click on Open, go to the folder where you have your prop map stored. Prop maps. Double click that so it opens. Find the antique chase, and I want the regular one, not one I've already done, just the regular one. Whew. Okay, now I gotta figure out two things about this. First thing is, what kind of wood do I want to use? Second thing is, what kind of fabric or color do I want to use? So wood. What's coming up? Easter. What comes after Easter? I don't know. Let's just do. Let's just wing it. Fuck it. Okay, I like rustic wood, so let's go with rustic wood. And you don't want anything that's going to stretch too badly when you put it on there. I tell you what, let's change the parameter. Let's go with tropical wood. And let's do wallpaper, because it's showing me slabs of wood. I want like one big ass piece of wood. I just want wood. I don't want slats. Well, this is more like what I want right here, but let's just go with this. So I'm going to right click on this. There's two ways you can do this. Okay. First of all, I see that there is a stock photo website hosting this. So if we click on this and we go to the website, it's probably going to show us an image that is watermarked from here to creation. But let's just see. Oh, we got different. Huh. I like this one. Okay, I don't sign up. Just right click on it and copy the image. And then I go to GIMP. And on the, now if you want it a separate image so you can download it, click on edit, click on paste as, click on new image. It's going to put it over there out to the side for you. And I'm going to zoom in on this and see if there's any watermarks anywhere. I don't see any. I don't see any. Okay. Before I save this image, I am going to resize it. It is 600 by 600. I'm going to resize it 512 by 512. If you don't know why, you need to look it up on the internet, the power of 2, or you can go to RLC forums and look it up in the Zabby section, Zabby Deco section. And your X and Y resolution should be 72. If this little link right here is checked, if it's connected and not broken, and your numbers are 2 different numbers, let me show you. Say it's 2 different numbers, 386 by 400, and you change this to 512, and that lower number changes to 531. Here's why: because this little link right here is connected. If you break that, you can change that bottom number to the number you need. Okay, so I'm going to scale it, and then I'm going to save it. I'm going to export. There's no layers for me to save, so I don't need to do save as. I'm just going to export, and I'm going to save it in my junk folder. You save it, if you have a folder for wood or something, save it in that one. Don't save it in your junk folder. And I'm going to name it wood white. Crap, I forgot to put the file name behind it. .jpg as a JPEG. Do not save it as a PNG unless there are transparencies in the image. A PNG, for the most part, PNGs are larger files, and you don't want to take up space that's unnecessary on your computer, so just save it as a JPEG. Export. Okay, now if you didn't want to just save it as an image, which you should because you might need it later on for something else, but if you didn't, you're just doing a one-off thing, you're going to click on edit, paste as a new layer, and it adds it to this as a new layer. And then I want to resize this to 512 by 512. Okay, so this is just for the wood. Let me grab the overlay. I'm going to click on open as layers, grab the overlay. That's what an overlay does. So here's your prop map for the chase. We added the wood, and so it's covered up everything, the fabric parts, the wood parts, everything. And then when we added the overlay, it added all the shadows, all the outlines, so now you can see what's going on. Now if you just want the entire thing to be white wood, you can leave it like this and save it, but we're not doing that. We're only using the white wood. I'm going to make this invisible. Use the eye over here to make that layer invisible. So I'm just using the white for the wood, but I can't see shit, so I need to lower the opacity so I can actually see through the wood. Before I do that, I am going to save a copy of this wood, because once I start cutting it, if I fuck it up, I don't want to have to start over by importing the wood again and blah blah blah. Save yourself the trouble. Right click on the wood, click on duplicate layer, and then make the first one invisible. So this one that's invisible is our base wood layer. If we fuck this one up, we can just go back to this one and make a copy and move on with our lives. Okay. So I'm going to lower the opacity of this one. So right up here where it says opacity, I am going to turn that number down until I can still see the wood, but I can see the prop map too. Okay. Ooh, sorry. Okay. One thing you need to decide, do you want your wood grain to go vertically or do you want it to go side to side? In this case, I think vertically, so I'm going to leave it as it is because the grain is currently vertical. Okay. So now I'm going to start cutting. So I'm going to use the free select tool up here. It looks like a lasso. And I'm going to cut out the fabric parts because we want the wood to be on the wood parts but not the fabric parts. So I'm just going to freehand this. I'm just make sure you get it all in there. I'm just creating points. I'm just left clicking with my mouse. You can't really see it, but right there is a section of fabric is darkened. So I need to make sure I get around that. Okay, so when I connected with my first point, it created this line of marching ants. All I'm going to do is hit delete on my keyboard, and to make sure that this area is transparent, I'm going up here to layer, transparency, color to alpha, and it'll show you it's been cut out. And then I'm going to click on select none to stop the marching ants. Okay, so all this over here is wood. There's more fabric, so I'm just going to start out here and I'm going to go to right up under the wood. I might have to zoom in because this chick is getting old. My eyesight's going in every freaking thing. Okay, so I'm basically just outlining the wood because we want to cut we want to get the white wood texture off of the fabric, but we want to keep it on the wood. If at any point during any of my videos you need to, if I'm going too fast, listen, just pause the video. That's all you gotta do, just pause it. And I'll be still here running my flap when you're ready. When you're ready to resume. Okay, so now we just need to, and we can cut this one while we're at it. Can't really see it, but there's another section right there that's really dark, so we need to make sure we get that too. So take this back down to size. Okay, so now we have the rest of the fabric highlighted. I'm just going to hit delete on my keyboard and select none. So all the wood is cut, all the fabric is cut out, so we can turn up the wood now, and that's how we're looking for the wood part. Now we need to get a fabric in there, so let's find us a fabric. Let's go with some kind of tropical fabric. That goes good with white, right? Tropical fabric. Looks all beachy and shit. Dun, 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 dun. I like this. This is colorful. Colorful. Okay, so I like it, so I'm going to download it and I'm going to save it. Okay, let me show you something. When you go to download it, if it wants to open up, make sure it's opening up in the folder you want to save it in. What the hell is that? What's an ASH file? Don't know what that is. Never heard of that. So instead I'm going to go back here and I'm going to copy the image. I'm going to do it this way. Click on GIMP, click on paste as, new layer. There we go. There we go. Now I'm going to resize it because our map is 512 by 512. Two different numbers here, and it's linked because look what happens if I change this to 512. This goes to 684. So let me start over. I'm going to break that link. I'm going to put 512 here and 512 here. Okay, and I'm going to lower the opacity. Wow, those flowers are pretty fucking big for that fabric. So I want to tile it. That's what I want to do. So I'm going to go up here to filters and I'm going to click on map and small tiles, and it's going to show you a preview right here. You click OK. I don't like this. You know why? Because it's not seamless. Okay, so you see these lines right here? You don't want that. Makes it look terrible. So we're going to make this seamless. So we're going to click on edit. We're going to undo what we just did. We're going to undo the small tiles. We're going to go back to filters, click on map, click on make seamless. So this rearranges the fabric so that it creates a seamless pattern. Okay, yes, you're gonna see some faded parts, some wonky parts. Things are not going to be perfect like they were before. That's okay. It kind of works for you in the end. Not always, but a lot of the times it does. Now we're going to go back to map, small tiles, click OK, and see what it did there. So I'm going to lower the opacity. See how I like it. I like that better. I might like even smaller. I don't know. I'm not sure. So I'm just going to duplicate this copy, make the first one invisible, and I'm going to take this one and I'm going to tile it again. Filters, map, small tiles, and it's going to make an even smaller pattern. Okay, so now I'm going to, now this is on top of our wood and everything. To save us some time from cutting it out, we're just going to grab this and we're going to reorder the layers in GIMP, and we're going to drop it underneath the wood because the wood is already has cutout parts. So when we put this layer underneath the wood layer, it shines through the cutout, so we don't have to cut twice. We're only cutting the wood. We don't have to cut the fabric. Okay, and now we turn on our overlayer, and this is what it looks like. Now we're going to save it. Save as. Make sure it goes in the prop maps folder. Keep the original name of the prop. And here's how I name them. _ Whitewood Tropical Multi. If it's got more than one color scheme that seems pretty dominant, it's got green, it's got blue, it's got red, so I just call it multi, and then I always note if I included an overlay. So this is Whitewood Tropical Multi and overlay. And the XCF file is the file that saves all of your layers. You are going to need that file. If you have more than one layer, you need to save it as an XCF file. And you can click on the save button, or I just hit enter on my keyboard. After you save that file, you want to export the finished product. This has no transparency, so we're going to save it as a JPEG. Click on export or hit enter on your keyboard. Another box is going to pop up. You're going to export it again, and then we are going to upload it, and then we just go to prop maps folder, because that's where we saved it, right? So we need to find here it is. Click on that, upload, click on the icon to copy. We're going to cache web image, paste, and we want to put file caching on forever. Okay, forever. And there we go. It is done. Now that looks gray. That does not look white. That looks gray. So how to fix that? The overlay did that because the overlay is pretty dark. So all we do is we go up here to the overlay and we're going to lower the opacity of the overlay. Let's take it down to 50%. And we're going to save it again. And this time I'm going to put a note. Overlay faded 50. So if I had faded it down to 30, I would put overlay faded 30. 30. Could I get any more country than that? Overlay faded to 50, and I'm going to save it again as layers, and also going to export it. Overlay faded. Come on, there we go, 50. Now the overlay has been faded, so there is some transparency. However, it is still showing a solid image through it, so we still are going to save it as a JPEG because there are no transparent images on it, like, you know, the background or anything. Okay, faded 50. Don't y'all ever get tired of hearing me talk? My God. I know I get sick and tired of hearing myself sometimes. Alright, so we're going to do this. It's a little bit lighter. It's a little bit lighter. So that is how you do a prop map. Also, whenever you go to let's see if when you go to, if you don't have to unlight everything, okay, you don't have to light everything up that you do, but instead of checking the unlit button, this is just what I do. I don't know if anyone else does it, but I skip unlit. I go all the way down to bitmaps, and the number equivalent in emissive for unlit is 166. That's the equivalent. I don't know why I prefer using bitmaps, I just do. Okay. So that's how you do that. Let's do a cardboard box. So cardboard boxes, oh, I hate doing those. They get on my last freaking nerve. You'll see why in a minute. Cardboard box, so I'm gonna get the, okay, I do not use the overlay for this because I'm not making a cardboard box. I am gonna make, let's make a box of donuts. How about that? If you're making food products, these are good for that. Cereal boxes, macaroni and cheese box, stuff like that. I really like making the food products. I want to open a food store. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I've had that idea for like 7 years. I've made some food products, but I don't have enough to open a store yet. I have a store started. It hasn't come to fruition, but I want to do that. Anyway, enough about me. So we're going to do a box of donuts. So let's just look up. Let me get rid of this crap. Okay. Box of donuts. So you're going to have to save several images. So you got to decide what you want it to look like. Do you want it to be an open box of donuts, or do you want it to be a box like this, like with a see-through top and everything? Let's go with this, because I think that's what I want. A generic box of donuts. Okay, so I'm going to right click on this. I'm going to save the image as, and it's a web file, and this version of GIMP cannot open web files because it's too old. So I'm going to, let's see if I can copy this. I can, but it takes some. Oh, I saved it as a new image. Okay, that's good. That's fine. So if we're going to make a box of donuts like this, so this is what the top is going to look like. So now we have to find. Okay, this is not going to come out right because I'll show you a trick though. I don't know if you can see, but this side of the box right here is darker than this side. See how it goes from dark to light right here? But that's okay. I'm going to show you a trick on how to make that even. I'm glad this happened actually. Okay, so the sides and the bottom of this box, we need to find a cardboard texture that's the same color, or we can actually make our own, but let's see if we can find. Ooh, look at those. I don't like apple fritters. Okay, so generic, we're gonna look up generic cardboard box for donuts. So now we just gotta find one that looks like it's about the same color. Or if we're lucky, we find a box that has all the images we need. Like it'll have the donuts and the box and everything else. Let's see what this says. Oh, for fuck's sake. I hate how they've started doing this crap. So it's showing, so if it shows the sides and the bottom, no, it didn't. It did not. Now this one is showing the sides. Okay. Well, let's just make our own. How about them apples? First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off all this white off. So I'm cropping this. Get it as close as possible. Get all that white stuff off the edges. So I missed some. Zoom in on this shit. If you're like me and you wear glasses, zoom in. So this one's going to be closed because I really don't like that white sticker there. Really don't like that. Might be able to fix it. Might be able to. I am going to resize this bitch because this thing is way too big. 2787 by 2000. Good God. Let's take it down to 800. Now. That's better. Okay. First thing, let's get rid of this freaking sticker if we can. I'm going to save this right quick. I'm going to the folder I want it to be in, which is the junk folder. And I'm going to save it as donuts JPEG. Okay, and this is before we're even working on the prop map. We have to prepare our image. So that's what we're doing. We're going to prepare it. So I'm going to show you a little trickery that I'll use. So I'm going up here to the rectangle select. And I want to cover up this sticker. I want to get rid of it. So I got to cover it up. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the part that's right here on the box itself. I want it to be the same color as the box. So I'm going to go over here and I'm going to copy a portion of the box. I'm going to draw the rectangle select and then I'm going to go up here to edit, copy visible. Okay, so I've copied this section. So now I'm going to edit, paste as, new layer. It always lands up here at the top. Just grab it, bring it down here, and I'm going to position it over the sticker. Obviously I did not get enough, so I need to do it again. This time I need to grab a bigger part. Oh, you know what? Since this is in place, I can just grab part of this. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to... Well, yes, I will. One day I'll figure out what the hell I want to do. Okay. Copy visible. I'm just going to make that invisible for a minute. And then I'm going to paste as a new layer. I'm going to go up here, grab my move tool. Looks like a little cross. I'm going to grab this. I'm going to bring it down. This needs to be pulled. I need to make this smaller. This needs to be pulled down a little bit. Okay, I'm going to delete that second layer because we don't need that anymore. Okay, so this is kind of blended in, hasn't it? That blends pretty good actually on that bottom part. You can see the color difference right there, but it's not that bad. Okay, so I'm liking it. So I'm going to merge it with this one. So I'm going to click on the layer we just pasted. Go up here to layer and merge down. Now it has become a permanent part of the original box. So already it's made a big difference. We can see it's covered up the sticker on the box itself. Now here's going to be the tricky part. Alright. So we got to cover up these donuts. This might be hard to explain, but before I do anything, I'm going to duplicate this image so that if I fuck it up, I have my original still. So I'm working on the copy, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the smudge tool. I'm going to try this, and if this does not work, I'll go to the second process I can use, which is a little bit more time consuming. So first of all, my brush is way too big. I'm going to make the size smaller. That's better. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to try to smudge this donut over here into to cover this. So I'm going to I'm going to undo all this because I just remembered something. Don't do what I just did, kids. Don't do this. I'm going to undo the merge. Okay. We have that layer back. I unmerged it. Listen, whatever you do, you can undo it. Just click on edit and undo. Okay? So the reason why I undid it, you'll see this in a minute. Now, I am going to make another copy of my original, not the merged, not the layer covering the sticker, but of the original. Now, I'm going to go back to smudging. I'm going to smudge again. Here's why. Because when I get down here to this, look at that. It went underneath the box layer that we put on there. Crap. Okay. I'm working on this layer. Okay. So the smudging that I'm doing, when it gets to the box part, it's alright. It doesn't look too bad. Alright, I'm gonna go over here to this one now. Work on this one. Okay, so make my tool a bit smaller because I need to make the box too. We gotta work on the hole. This is how I fix a lot of layers, and I actually offer this as a service. I will do this for people. I will fix their textures or whatever if they need it. Depends on what you want done as to the cost. Okay, the least amount is 5 rays per image. For that amount, I like if you find something wonky and you need it fixed or whatever, I can. Most of the time I can do it. I can fix watermarks. Sometimes I can fix watermarks. Watermarks are labor intensive. Depends on what it is. And but you know, if you need something done, but I do charge for this service, just so you know. Fuck. But I can do it for most anything. Most. Okay. Well, shit. Just make that straight. Okay, that doesn't look too bad. Alright, so now we can merge this down onto that. Okay, so now the sticker's gone. We still need to make both sides of the box the same color because we're going to make the sides and the back out of this color, and whenever we put the edges together, we don't want it to look like it's different colors. We want it to all look as uniform as possible. So I think I like the lighter side over here better. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to use the rectangle select once again. And I'm going to, this is just so you can see what I've done. I'm all the way up here to the edge. I have a little flaw right there I need to fix. Gonna make my brush really small. Gonna make it a 2. Nope, it's too small. I'm gonna make it a 4. I need to fix that right here. Okay. So I'm gonna use my rectangle select, and I'm gonna copy about half of the box. I'm gonna go up here to copy visible, and then I'm going to click on edit, paste as, new layer, and I'm going to flip it. The flip tool right here looks like an arrow going both ways. I'm gonna flip it, and then I'm gonna bring it down here and put it on the other side of the box. So I need to move that up some, and I want to click on the original so the marching ants disappear, and see how that looks. Okay, so not bad. So now I want this top part to look just like this bottom part. So I am going to copy this entire bottom. Whoop. Copy visible, paste as, new layer, and it's being hidden because it's not on the top, so I just reorder the layers. Couldn't think of the word. So now this is on top, but now I need to rotate this 180 degrees. So I click on the rotate tool, click on the layer, type in 180. You see it put it at the angle right here. Rotate now. And now I need to make the sides the same. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this one we just did. So I go to layer, duplicate, and I'm going to rotate it so it's facing to the left. So I'm going to rotate again, click on that layer, and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. And then I'll just put it into place over here. So this needs to come out a little bit. I just used the scale tool for that. It stretched it a little bit, but I'm not going to worry too much about it. And now we're going to duplicate this one, and we're going to click on the flip tool, and then we're going to click on the rectangle select, click on the image, and on the arrows pad on my keyboard, left, right, up, and down arrows, I'm just holding down the left arrow, and it's moving it straight across the board. And that is how we made the top of the donut box with no sticker, and we made the color as uniform as possible. So that's how you do that. Now we have all these layers, okay? So I want to save the finished product. I need to trim this up first. So I'm going to do a little trim on all the sides just in case. And now I'm going to save as. We're going back to the folder, donuts. Now I'm going to label it as top, I want to save the layers, so I save it as an XCF file. I'm going to export. I'm going to rename this top, again as a JPEG. Now, this is still pretty big, and this cardboard box prop map is 512, so I'm going to resize this to 1024 just to make it easier to work with. And okay, let me explain the box. So when you're making a food product or anything like that that has a top to it, like depends on what you're making. If you're making a stack of towels, that lays out a little bit differently, but if you're making a food product, this right here, the centerpiece right here, is going to be your top or your front. Okay, if it's your donut box, this is your top. If it's a macaroni and cheese box, this is the front of your box, and this right here will be your top flap. Okay, and this right here will be the back of your macaroni and cheese box. We're talking about macaroni and cheese now, not donuts. So this is your front of your box. This is your top of your mac and cheese box where you open it up at. This is the back of your box, which means that when you import your macaroni and cheese box, your layer, the front of your box is going to be facing you. This, because it's the back, is going to be upside down on the map. Okay, and then this is your bottom piece, and these are your sides. Okay, but we're doing a donut box, so open his layer. I'm going to go to find my donuts. How do you spell junk? Duh. Donuts. We want the top and we want the JPEG layer. We don't want to open all those separate layers on this. So I'm going to just use the scale tool here to make this smaller. So I'm going to scale it to fit. Okay, so we can make ourselves a new, I'll do it both ways, I'll show you. So I want to make a texture of the cardboard box. Let me think of how I want to do this. My brain's going off, but I can't explain as fast as my brain is thinking. So when we scale this, let me grab a cardboard box. Get rid of that. Okay. Here it is. This right here is going to be the top of our donuts. So we're going to rotate this. Okay. And then we're going to scale it. So this is going to be your donut box. This is going to be the top. But you see I had to scale it so it's going to squish the texture. Okay. So the sides where it says fragile, keep dry, and the arrows, that texture is going to squish down. But if you're looking at it from the map point, it's going to squish side to side like this way. So keep in mind whatever texture is on the box is going to squish as well. So I'm going to copy this, the box texture, copy visible, and I'm going to the map, and I'm going to paste as a new layer. So I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to stretch this texture sideways, and it looks stretched, but I'm okay with it because I know that when I get this on the box, this texture is gonna be crunched. It's gonna so it's gonna be stretched back down to what should look like a normal size. Okay, so I'm just kind of winging it. Now, when you're doing prop maps, you're going to do more than one. You're going to have to tweak and adjust and scratch some of the ideas and add new ones. You're going to have, I have done as many as like 60 versions of a prop one time because it was really hard and I couldn't get it exactly how I wanted it to look. So I would tweak it and save it, upload it, tweak it, save it, upload it. Like I had like 60 versions. I am not even shitting you right now. You are going to have this. Just make sure when you get to your latest version, the one you're going to keep, you go back and delete all the other ones. Okay? Because like 6 months from now, you don't want to be going in that folder looking for something like that and go, what the fuck is all this shit? You know? Delete that shit as you go. Okay? So I'm going to take this layer and I want it to be on the other side too. So I'm going to layer, duplicate. I'm going to the flip tool. I'm going to flip it and I'm going to click on the rectangle select and then click anywhere on the prop map on the image. Use the arrow on my keyboard to move right, and I'm going to move it right on over to the other side. Yes, you can pick it up and move it, but you won't get it lined up exactly how it was on the other side. So use the arrows. Also, one side of the cardboard box is not the same size as the other side. So yes, you're going to have to make a few adjustments. That is fine. It's just the way it is. Okay, so this side, this is actually going to be the back side here and this side. So all I'm going to do is I'm just going to duplicate this layer, duplicate. But now I have to move it. I'm going to use the top arrow on my keyboard, the one that goes up. And then I'm going to use the left arrow to move it over. Again, you can pick it up and move it. I just like the arrows. And also the grain of the box is going the wrong way, so I am going to rotate this -90 so the grain is, wait a minute, did I do that right? Yep, I did. I'm going to redo it. Okay. I'm going to use the scale tool to adjust the size, move it around a little bit. Okay, so I don't want this layer to go on top of these other layers. So I'm going to grab this in the order file and I'm just going to drag it down so that it lays up under these layers. Actually, this can probably come up a little. See, these cardboard boxes, I can never get these right the first time. Never. Not the one I wanted to do. Is this one? I'm lowering the opacity to see if I'm in the lines. I'm not. So I need, oh crap. Need to drag that down a little bit. Okay. Use your opacity tool. If you don't know where you're at on this map, use your opacity tool so you can see what the hell you're doing. Alright, so I have to think. Alright, I'm just going to duplicate this and put it on the other flaps, and we'll see how it looks. Might have to make some changes. I'm just so tired. Like, my brain has just recently, I haven't been sleeping well. So, and I've been drinking a lot of coffee, which I do not normally do. So, my thought processes are just, oh my God, I just can't think. I don't know what's going on here. But we'll figure out what layer that's on. I don't guess that matters. It's not. Alright, so we got it together. So let's save it under prop maps. Come on, click. Okay. Donuts. Generic, because it's not a name brand. And we're not using an overlay because we don't want the outside to look like a cardboard box. So, and we want to export it. JPEG. Oh shit, I forgot to resize it. Oh, fuck. It's way too big. We don't want it to be 1024 by 1024. So we'll go to image, we click on scale. We're going to change this to 512, 72 XY resolution scale. Save. I'm going to save over the one I just saved because I don't want a huge version of the donuts. So I'm going to override those files. When it pops up and says, do you want to override this file, you want to say yes. Okay, so now we are going to choose a file. We're going to cardboard box, donuts. Oh, I went too far. Donuts. Oh my God. So I'll show you some of the things I've made with a cardboard box. I've made, let me go back down. I've made Easter Peeps. I've made a Willy Wonka bar, a wallet, vanity drawer, a TV, toilet paper, a pack of toilet paper, a toaster, a vintage toaster, stove tops, a storage tote, a stone fireplace, a stack of washcloths and towels. I use that a lot for towels stacked up. Bath soap, sliced cheese, a pack of sliced cheese, parts of a sewing machine, Spam, food products, Spam, nightstand, a stack of record albums and CDs. What is this? A stack of magazines, macaroni and cheese, a loaf of bread, cereal boxes, a Kindle Fire, an AC unit, a horse brush, a box of graham crackers, a box of generic saltine crackers, a gasoline can, a Monopoly game, a battleship game, a French dresser, okay, a food tray, stovetop stuffing, Christmas cookies, an egg carton. I don't know if that ever panned out. I know I was working on it, but I don't remember if I got it to work right. some black pepper, some butter, some cream cheese, baking soda, filing cabinet, dryer sheets, a drink flat, like those little cardboard flats that canned drinks come in, or used to come in. There's the donuts. Okay. That's just, like, you can use a cardboard box for a lot of stuff. Like, don't limit yourself. Like, look at it and envision it. You know, like, think about what you want to make and then figure out which prop will work best for it. This is going to be a long ass video because I can't stop talking. Okay. And we want to change this to forever caching. Alright, so we have our donuts. We're going to see how it looks. So see how the sides were squished down, so now it actually looks pretty decent. It looks pretty good actually on the sides. Let's see how the bottom looks. If I can get my butt out of the way. Okay, don't look bad because nobody's going to see that any damn ways. Well, let's see how the top looks. So we need to resize this sucker a little bit. To look like a normal size of donuts because you don't want it to be huge. Still too deep. Alright. So we made us a pack of donuts. I could put that in my food store for sale. How about that? Turned out pretty good, don't you think? Or there's something on the edge there, but you know what? I'm gonna let it go. It looks fine. Nobody's really gonna notice. I noticed, but... And that's how you do that. We'll see. What else can we do? I might just show y'all a couple things that I've done. Let me go through my prop map list just to give you some ideas. So this is an antique love seat. Basically, I did the same thing I did with the antique chase. I cut out the wood first. I did a wood cutout, and then I put the fabric underneath the wood layer, and then I added the overlay on top. So that was that. Black. We'll do a black tile dresser. So I'm actually going to open one of those and show y'all how I did that. One that I built. Trying to remember. It might be that one. Wardrobe, dark walnut. Wardrobe. There we go. Okay, so what I did was I got my wood and figure out where the wood is. Let me just drag this on top so you can see it. Okay, so this is this is the black tall dresser prop. I used the color map for this because it's just a whole lot easier. So this is going to come to you 1024 by 1024. I do advise you, I forget a lot of times, but please resize your texture to 512 before you upload it. So this is going to be the face of your product. Like if it's a wardrobe, like one of those old wood ones, this would be the front of it. And these are the sides right here. So put your wood texture on there separate. It is so tempting to cover this entire side with one wood texture. Don't do it. Don't do it. Put one here and then make a separate layer and put it here. I think this might be the bottom. I think this is your top, and these are the feet, and this might be the legs, and this is the feet. Okay, so what I did was I had, let me put this here so I know what's to be left invisible. Okay, and I'm going to get down to the nitty gritty of this thing. Okay, so I started with my wood texture for the front here, and then I added the wood for the rest of the parts. And then I'm pretty sure I made like a matching dresser and chest of drawers and all that. So this looks like chest of drawers, so I put that on there. That was an image I think I got online somewhere. And then I fixed, because you see how on the sides here, how this side of it is not the same as this side? I think this looks like I copied it off a long dresser. So I just used 1/2. So what I did was I just used my rectangle select and I just copied this side, copy, visible, and then I pasted as a new layer, and then I just flipped it. So it made that. And what is that? What did I do there? Oh, I'm building my wardrobe. Okay, so what I did was I copied this entire image right here and then pasted as a new layer, and I put it right here, right above the base here, and then I duplicated it, moved it up, so I've got me a row of smaller excuse me, smaller drawers, and then I added a mirror. So you see I built this wardrobe right on top of this image, and you can do it too. You can go online and you can look for ideas, and you can build shit from scratch. Like you can copy images from the internet, paste it separately as a new image into GIMP, and take different elements off of, like you might have 4 or 5 dressers, and you could just copy from, once you get them all into GIMP, you can just copy visible the elements you want to use and paste it on your prop map to build something entirely different. So use your imagination and do your thing. Make something great. Make something all your own. Let's see what else. Okay, so let's get with the bottle. That's probably the wrong one to do. Okay, let's do this one. Okay, so I used the bottle prop to make some Halloween stuff. This is Gargoyle Sweat. I found the label online, and basically I just took like I think this is like a cork image or a texture, and I just covered up pieces of the map, and I added color here. I don't know if you can see the image over here, but I just added some color, and I lowered the opacity of it so you could see through it, and then I added the label. These are all layers. That's why you save your XCF file save as. It comes up as XCF, because you want to be able to go back later and reopen those layers and make changes like I did here. Like I used this one to make like 10 or 12 bottles. All I did was switch up colors, change the labels, stuff like that. So there's all kinds of stuff you can do. Just do some research, use your imagination. Here's the thing of pickles. I did a thing of pickles. I made these with candles. Just make sure the top of your jar lid matches the side of your jar lid. So I made pickles, rotten pond minnows, that was for Halloween. Some chicken, just like a generic label. Potted meat. Tuna. Beanie weenies. More Halloween stuff. Halloween, I don't know what that is. So we're just going to do, this is when I was trying to work on that stupid bed. Some Raisin Bran I made. Try to avoid doing, so when I made the Raisin Bran, I wasn't really paying attention to brands. If you can, make your own brand, because you can do it. Just use your imagination. I decided to make my own raisin cereal, so that's what I did here. Using the cardboard box, of course. Ant Flow sanitary napkins, I made those. Graham crackers. Some Busta Suds beer. Spam. This is a stack of bath towels. You see how many times it took me to make those. It's a new image every time. Easter Peeps, the blue ones. More bath towels, a boom box. That is a camping grill. I don't know what that is. Oh, that's CDs, I think. Yep, all that's music. Marshy Charms, more cereal. That looks like a bed. I don't know what I was doing. I made a cement block with a cardboard box. Cornflakes. A tea set, a Disney tea set. Disney stuff. I have a lot of Disney stuff. Oh, there's the donuts we just made. And at one point I tried to do a Krispy Kreme box and I fucked it all up. So ignore that. Butter. Creamy cheese. Muffin top. Stovetop stuffing. Games. What is that other thing? I don't know what that is, but whatever it is, I think I messed it up. Bread, that's the bread. That's the mac and cheese. Mac and cheese. A box of matches. I think that's a stack of paper bags. That's the cheese slices, soap, towels, a lot of towels. I have a lot of towels. Toilet paper, TV. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. So, use your imagination. Anyway, I'm not gonna keep doing this. So I showed you a couple maps. Just use your imagination. Use Wraith's prop map. I will include the link at the bottom of the video. And if you have any other ideas for new videos, or if you have trouble, now I'm going to tell you what, I do not do vehicles because I suck at vehicles. I do not do animals. I suck at getting the fur right. There are people in the world who make these things specifically and are good at them, and you can pay them to do it for you if you need something in particular. And whenever I get somebody else to do something for me, I always tell them up front, listen, this is what I need, this is what I need it to look like, and this is what I'm using it for. I'm putting it in a layout I have for sale. Can you do it? How much is it going to cost me? Can I put this in my layout for sale? Not for individual sale, but to put in the layout to be sold to other people. Will you give me permission to do that? If they say yes, you have permission, screenshot that shit so you have a record of permissions, because at some point down the road, somebody's going to say, you stole this texture. No, bitch, I didn't. I bought it. And I have permission to use it. So always cover your ass, okay? But if you need help on a prop map, and if I have time to help you, because I stay pretty busy these days, but I'm always willing to help if I can, and just holler at me. I'll help you out if I can. You might have to send me the image, the map on Skype or whatever, or show it to me, because sometimes I can't figure shit out unless I'm actually touching it, if that makes sense. So we might have to do all that, but I'll help if I can. If I can't, I'll just say I can't help you. Alright, you guys, I hope this was a help to you, and get creative and use your own textures. No hot linking and no thievery. Okay, alright.